Well, good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Schleter with today's Tom's Take. It's good to be back with you. I say good morning, but according to my clock, I've got about 30 minutes left on this Thursday morning. We returned home safely from Alaska and had a tremendous time teaching and legislating and getting in covenant with many beautiful people in Alaska. And I will talk about that tomorrow in my Tom's Take, because there was a word that the Lord gave me while I was there that is very essential for us understanding Alaska's role in where we are going as a nation coming up to our 250th year. Tomorrow on that. Right now I want to share stuff that I've shared a little bit before with y'all over the years. As you know, my last name Schleter means keeper of the keys of the prison, or just keeper of the keys. It's an occupational German name. And so keys have been very instrumental in my life on both a natural and a spiritual realm, more so than maybe other people, even though all of us are familiar with the keys that the Lord has given us. The ones mentioned in Isaiah 22:22 and in Matthew, when Jesus is giving the instructions to the disciples after Peter has claimed him as the Christ, where he gives him the keys to unlock or to lock. Well, another thing is very important to me. Because of that word, keeper of the keys, it led to the writing of my second book, and I was looking here and I didn't have a copy of it on my desk. My first book was Return of the Priest, and my second book was Keeper of the Keys. It was based as a devotional and a study on the book of Nehemiah and the responsibility that every single one of us has in order to guard the gates and to build up walls, to be the strength of God in our neighborhood, in our home, in our city, in our state, and in our nation. I would encourage you, go pick up a copy. Order it on Amazon. Keeper of the Keys. But it goes deeper than that. I've shared this story with you, but I'll share briefly again. A few years back, I was at Glory of Zion, and Chuck Pierce was beginning the meeting, and the worship was going, and as usual, he has a gift usually for everyone is there. I mean, it may be small, it may be large, it may be an apple, it may be a little thing of honey. But this time it was the pictures of the tribes of Israel. And I thought I had mine up here behind me, but it's not there right now. It's the pictures of the tribes of Israel, and they were all placed upside down at the front of the building. They said, come up, and you're going to pick up one. Don't be looking at it. Don't try to find a tribe that you would like to be, because when you pick up that tribe that you don't know what it is yet, and you turn it over when you return to your seat, the Lord is decreeing that that tribe is going to be a designated prophetic destiny for you. I remember turning to a friend and said, I've got a feeling I'm going to get Gad. I would like Judah or Issachar, but that's going to be what I get. And that's what I got. But then I realized the prophetic meaning of the tribe of Gad and the month of Elul. It's the time when the king is in the field. It's a time when the lion roars back and destroys the enemy that has been coming against them. It is a time when the troops are all gathered together, and that has been such a defining legacy for me, destiny for me, in the forming together of apostolic prophetic intercessors, whether it be here in the city of Arlington years ago, or whether now it's the Texas Apostolic Prayer Network, or even beyond that, just having returned doing the same thing in Alaska. And done it in probably about 15 states now. Gathering them together, helping them to learn how to legislate as members of sons and daughters of God's kingdom, as members of the ecclesia. So this Nehemiah thing is really heavy in me. Keeper of the keys is real heavy in me. And here we are in the month of Elul, coming to just the last few days of it. And all month the Lord has been just laying this as a very heavy revelatory burden on my spirit, that this is a very important season as we move into the new year at Rosh Hashanah. Well, let me go one more step, because back in May, Dr. Patty Amston was here at Kingdom Gate and was preaching and teaching on the cloud of witnesses. If you haven't heard her talk about the two families and the cloud of witnesses and the portals, you've missed out a great deal. You need to find those books. Most of them are on her website, Patty Amston, Amsden, and you need to get those books. But at the end of her message, she began to prophesy out of what she had just taught about the cloud of witnesses. And she explained it in a way, sounds mysterious, but very commonsensical. And that is that many times we connect prophetically with ancient people, ancient saints, ancient workers of the kingdom. And therefore, we not only carry that prophetic mantle, carry that destiny, but are empowered to do it. So she steps over to me, and this is the word that she gave me. Tom, you have an ancestry, spiritually, that goes back to Nehemiah and beyond that. And the reason that the Lord sent you was to look at all the gates. She's talking about coming here to Kingdom Gate. He sent you around this whole perimeter of this state. He really did. And around this town, like Nehemiah walked around. I used a little yellow Volkswagen Bug, by the way, to look at all the gates and to see where they had been burned with fire, where there was no gate contender. There was no one to tend the gate. And Nehemiah left his ordinary work, which was a cupbearer, what he thought he had been assigned to. He left that to go survey the damage. You left and were sent here to survey the damage. And even as you surveyed the damage, then the next thing that came into your life is to pick up the sword. So there has been up to this point a tending of gates for kingdom purposes. That's in part why your new name is here, Kingdom Gate. A kingdom of tending those purposes with a sword in your hand. But the Lord is going to add to you, on the other hand, a building tool. And there is coming even alignment with others whose threads have to be woven together in your day right now. He gave you threads to weave with you, and days went by. But there's going to be some new threads added to you, because that next day of the Nehemiah project, so to speak, the Nehemiah assignment, is the building of those gates. It's one thing to fight the enemies that try to get in to your gates. It's another thing to build a gate upon this household. Therefore, it is upon this household, and there's going to be threads connected. Now, I wanted to say that to you, but also to the rest of us. You're here for such a time as this. You're here for such a time as this. Let me read now, if I can, from Nehemiah chapter 6. I'm going to begin with verse 18. And I want you to consider this as I'm reading this, how apropos it is to where we are right now as a nation and as a state and as a people. And the concluding remarks of the Lord as Nehemiah records what God is going to do. Starting with verse 8. Now, the context here is that Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem, the enemies, have continually raised up threats against Nehemiah to kill him, to end the project in any way possible. But here's Nehemiah's answer. Then I sent to him, saying, no such things as you say are being done. In other words, you're taking our words and our work out of context. Sound familiar? but you invent them in your own heart. For they all were trying to make us afraid, saying, their hands will be weakened in their work, and it will not be done. Now therefore, O God, strengthen my hands, strengthen our hands. Afterward I came to the house of Shemaiah, the son of Delaiah, the son of Mehetabel, who was a secret informer. And he said, let us meet together in the house of God, within the temple, and let us close the doors of the temple, for they are coming to kill you. Indeed, at night they will come to kill you. And I said, should such a man as I flee? And who is there such as I who would go into the temple to save his life? I will not go in. Then I perceived that God had not sent him at all, but that he pronounced this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. For this reason he was hired, that I should be afraid and act that way and sin, so that they might have cause for an evil report, that they might reproach me. Man, this is so timely. My God, here's his cry, my God, remember Tobiah and Sanballat, according to these their works, and the prophetess Noadiah, and the rest of the prophets, who would have made me afraid. Here's the key. Verse 15. So the wall was finished on the 25th day of Elul in 52 days. And it happened when all the enemies heard of it, and all the nations around us saw these things, that they were disheartened in their own eyes, for they perceived that this work was done by our God. Amen. 52 days. Finished on the 25th of Elul. Well, what day is that? Right now. Today is the 25th day of Elul. And God's promises regarding the Nehemiah anointing, the destiny, not only for me, but for our state and for this nation, that times of completion are coming about. When the walls are completed, the strength of God is surrounding us completely. And the enemy will be so disheartened in the coming days that they will marvel that this could only have been done by God, even though their whole purpose was to dishearten us, was to shame us, was to kill us, was to put us out of commission. But the Lord said, no, I've got an overwhelming power that takes out any force of the enemy. There is nothing that the enemy can do which will bring him victory. Victory is what the Lord has given us. So the Lord began to speak to me. This is me. We are in a season of completion. We are 4 days away from Rosh Hashanah. The Lord is declaring that He has us surrounded. The wall is in place. The enemy does not have access. And even as they shame, ridicule, blame, and threaten us, they will not have the last word. For the overabundance of God's power will overwhelm the enemy, and awakening will come and is coming into all of its fullness. We are in that season, a season of completion. As we move in to 5786, the new year, we will witness great victory. We will see a great awakening. We will celebrate an anniversary, a Jubilee-like anniversary for our nation. That'll be my topic tomorrow. And we will Move from victory to victory to victory. Do not put your eyes on the enemy. Last thing on this morning's call, I was back after a week, and I thank Joyce so much for the decrees that we made this morning. But a revelation came to me. Many of you know I've got my new book out. Again, I don't have that on my desk. I just got back late last night from Alaska. It's called Analyze and Execute. Please go and get it on Amazon. But David Munoz, who is the creative artist who did the cover, did something unique about the book. And when I saw it first, I thought, well, that looks great. I love the cover. But then I noticed something actually prophetic about it. He made the word analyze smaller than the word execute. And the Lord said, I am moving you out of a season of analyzing everything and bringing you into the season of executing my kingdom and my will on earth. Don't overanalyze what's going on in the world right now. It has been horrific. I had my weeping moments this whole last week regarding Charlie Kirk. But we cannot be caught up in the analyzation of that. We need to be caught up in the executing of God's plan of taking that seed and causing it to burst forth in a great revival and awakening. The wall is complete. Now let's get busy demonstrating God's kingdom authority. Blessings to all of you today. I'll be with you again tomorrow.